AM 1570, supertalk1570.com. Stay in touch anywhere with Supertalk 1570.
The following program is sponsored by Reconnect My Life Counseling and Consulting. This is the Reconnect My Life Show with Shantae and Friends, an advice show in which Shantae Bogart and her friends help empower you and reconnect your life. Real women, real life, real talk.
Thank you for joining us with Reconnect My Life with Shantae and Friends. Today we're in the studio with my co-host, Lisa Metropolis and Christy Tester. The Reconnect My Life with Shantae and Friends, what is that all about? People are probably wondering. Well, it's a conversation that a clinical therapist such as myself have with her friends when we're not on a radio talk show and we're in the privacy of our own homes and we're just talking about life. We're talking about relationships. We're just talking about parenting and who knows what else we may enter the conversation. So a little bit about myself. My name is Shantae Bogart, and I am a clinical therapist in the Genesee County area. And I have a private practice where I help women and families deal with life issues, as you may know. But my special co-hosts that I have that are joining me, and that will be joining me every Saturday, Lisa Metropolis and Christy Tester. And I'll give them a moment to introduce themselves and have you have a chance to get to know us and our personalities.
Good evening. I'm Lisa Metropolis. I'm so excited to be here every Saturday with some of my amazing and wonderful friends and women in the community. A little bit about me. I'm a marketing consultant and management for Women to Women Michigan magazine. I am a community activist, an entrepreneur, and most importantly, a mother. I have had some great successes in my life, and I've had some low lows. But you know what? I get up every day. I put some lipstick on, my ripped jeans, and I step through it, whether it's mud, snow, sleet, or the sunshine. And I'm just very excited to be here with these amazing women.
Good evening. My name is Christy Tester, and I am newly single after being married for 15 years. So I have found a whole new lease on life on who I want to be as a mother of 3 boys that keep me crazy busy. I am new to the entrepreneurial world because of this little adventure, so I'm really excited to be here with these women because I feel like we're here to hold each other up. And we've got each other's backs, and we're hoping to take you on that same journey. So I'm very excited.
Yeah. And I just want to share that today's show is sponsored by Reconnect My Life Consulting and Counseling. And with that being said, let's talk about what our topics are for today. We have an exciting show planned for you. If you have questions, we urge you to call in. This is very interactive. It's almost like sitting with a friend in your living room or in your kitchen, wherever you may be. So with that, Lisa will give us an overview of what to expect with the show today. Lisa?
We have a great show this evening. Very excited to have Chia Morgan call in and be our expert tonight on women in politics. Chia is a lifelong resident of Flint. She's a graduate of the University of Michigan. She is a social worker, and she is currently a case manager for individuals with intellectual disabilities at the nonprofit Vocational Independence Program. She has just been, she is a fierce warrior and on the front lines for the water crisis in Flint, and she has just been on several community organizations and boards. But her greatest achievement is being a mother, and she has a lot to talk about. She has a lot of really, really great things to say about being a mother and working in the political arena locally and beyond. So we're very excited to have her.
How exciting.
Absolutely. That's top of the hour. Towards the mid of the hour, we're going to change it up a little bit, and we are going to be discussing sexual empowerment. Very excited about this, ladies.
Yes. Little giggle there.
Very excited about this. And we're going to be talking about how elusive orgasms can be for so many women, why they are, and how to change that. We need to talk about how to change that and to empower women in every way, whether you're married, unmarried, with any, doing anything that you want to do when you want to do it, to empower yourself to be able to do that. So that's what we have today.
And when you think about empowerment, it's more complex than we may think about it. Empowering the woman, what does that look like? She can be empowered politically.
Absolutely.
She can be empowered sexually. She can be empowered financially.
Absolutely.
And also possibly mentally and physically.
Yes.
So we're going to explore this with over the next 2 shows that we do, and we're calling it the Empowerment Series. So I'm very excited to have you in our studio every week.
Absolutely. We're going to have a great show the next couple of weeks talking about empowerment, having some incredible women call in, and having some men call in and talk about all the things that make life worthwhile, make life worth living in these 2 areas specifically. So we're very, very excited to do that.
And this show does not exclude men. We want to hear the voices of men. We want to learn about you.
We need to hear voices.
Yes.
Men.
Yeah, you're part of our lab experiment. We want to know more about you.
It may not be a good thing for you, but we want to know more about you.
We'll go easy on you the first couple weeks.
Yeah.
We will.
Maybe.
But the object is for us to share knowledge and learn more. So each week that you tune in to Reconnect My Life with Shantae and Friends, hopefully you'll be able to take away some golden nuggets.
That's right.
Yes, absolutely.
That's right.
And what we have, Christy, she will share with you how you're able to contact us. We want this show to be very interactive. We want you to call in. We want to hear your Twitter, respond to the Twitter polls, social media. We want to do that. So Christy will share with you how you're able to contact us during the show.
Okay, well, with us having some really good topics to talk about this week with politics, and we have the debate tomorrow and women's issues and, of course, orgasms, so why not? So there's a couple of ways that you can communicate with us. We do have Twitter, so at Reconnect Life. You can go there, hashtag, and then we want you to hashtag RML Flint so we can follow you. And then we also have Reconnect My Life on Facebook. And we also want you to hashtag that as well, hashtag RML Flint, so we can follow that too. You can call in, because we do need guests to call in so we can hear your opinions, 810-251-1570. And then you can also listen live at supertalk1570.com. So really get involved, interact, because we can't do this without you.
No, we need you to call in. We want to hear what you have to say. We want to hear your opinion, good, bad, beautiful, ugly. We want to hear it all. So let us know. There's so many ways to contact us. So absolutely let us know.
And we appreciate you tuning in at 6 o'clock every Saturday listening to us. We want you to have, the ladies out there, take this time to have listening parties. Get your group of friends together. Get some wine or vodka if you need.
Something. Or tequila.
Or tequila.
Or an IPA. I'm sorry. I don't do any of those things. I'm a beer drinker. I forgot to say that in my intro.
Right.
Very important to my life.
Christy loves sports and beer.
Yes. And I'm single, man. Rusty's all excited.
Yeah, Rusty's really happy about all the single ladies. All the single ladies. Rusty's over there laughing.
Right, but we want you to get your friends together, have fun, listen to us on Saturday, and call in and respond to our polls that we put out there. Again, like I said, it's very interactive. We want you to participate in this. This show could be fabulous if we have our listeners call in. So I'll say it again. It's important for us to be interactive. So call in. So with that being said, we're going to go pay the bills and take a break, and we'll be back in a few moments.
Where Flint comes to talk about it. Super Talk 1570.
loan is a 30-year fixed-rate loan with a 1-0 lender-paid buy-down. Reduced payment valid only during the first 12 months. Monthly payment during the first 12 months of your loan is based on a rate that is 1% lower than your interest rate for this loan program. Not all applicants will qualify. Rates and terms subject to change. NMLS 6606 Equal Housing Lender. Call 888-369-6455 for licensing information.
I'm Rick Arviello, CEO of New American Funding, and we have just introduced a no points, no lender fee 30-year fixed-rate mortgage at 3 5/8%, 3.57 APR, with the first full year's payment at only 2 5/8%. At New American Funding, we figured out a way to give you more of your savings right up front. Your payment at 2 5/8% fixed rate in year 1 and 3.57% APR for the remaining 29 years with 0 points and 0 lender fees. This is for purchase or refinance. Even if you just got your loan, we might be able to really save you money. Isn't it worth a 10-minute call to find out?
Call New American Funding today at 800-963-4933. That's 800-963-4933. Or simply dial pound 250 from any mobile phone. Keyword get that rate.
You say you support our troops, but how?
Did you keep the lights on for my family while I was away?
Did you help me pay for school?
Make my mortgage payment when I couldn't?
Demand Congress put aside their differences and look out for me?
Have you and 1.4 million of your friends welcomed me home?
Did you take care of me and my mom when Daddy went away?
We have. It's what the VFW does every single day. We take care of the wounded, the weary, and the ones at home with scholarships, health care, benefits, and emergency needs.
Don't talk about it. Be about it. Join the veterans of foreign wars in showing real support to America's heroes by donating today. Call 1-855-HELP-VFW right now to donate or go online at vfw.org. By donating to the VFW, you're helping to care for thousands of veterans and their families who have sacrificed so much. The VFW. No one does more for veterans.
Please donate to the veterans of foreign wars. It would make my daddy so proud.
You're listening to Super Talk 1570.
And welcome back to Reconnect My Life with Shantae and Friends. Thank you for joining us for the second half of our show. This show is sponsored by Reconnect My Life Counseling, and thank you for joining us. Next, we have a special guest with us, a expert on women in politics, because this segment of the show is about empowering women politically. What does that look like? Well, we'll share more. We'll have opinions, and we'll have our guest speak about what she's doing in her community, as well as we have a panel discussion around women in politics.
Our lifelong Flint resident, Chia Morgan, is a graduate of the University of Michigan, social worker and case manager for Vocational Independence Program nonprofit. She is also the program coordinator for Blessed to be a Blessing. And above all else of these impressive credentials, she is a mother. We're very, very excited to have her here and to share and speak on her experience in the community and beyond.
And welcome to the show, Chia.
Thank you, ladies, for having me.
Thanks for being a part of the show.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
No problem.
So, Chia, before we get into our discussion, can you share a little bit about what this? I heard you went to the Steve Harvey show.
Yes.
Supporting Flint.
Mm-hmm.
What was that like?
It was amazing, to say the least. He's one of my favorite TV personalities. I watch his show and Family Feud every day. So I was honored to be there, but I was also sad because of the reason I was there.
Yes.
You know, he wasn't doing his typical jovial show. We were discussing the matter of our lives being at stake with this Flint water crisis.
And what are you currently doing in the community around the water crisis? I know we're going to talk about the women in power in politics, but you're a woman who's very involved in advocating for Flint.
Well, in the morning, I'm actually going to be with Marcel Allen donating water, distributing it in the Atherton, Vance Lake area. But I also created an event that will take place on March 26th, and it's called the Fight Against Lead Poisoning. And we are selecting 50 families. It's first come, first served basis from World of Hope. And we're going to take them to Walmart and educate them on the foods that they need to add to their diet to continue to fight off lead for their children. And we've partnered with Terrell Ransom Jr., who's actually the voice of Darwin Watterson on the Cartoon Network show The Amazing World of Gumball. He's going to come here and, as a child, talk to our youth in Flint about how he eats these foods and how they're tasty and delicious. And I think that's a vital portion of the water crisis because, you know, it's easy as parents to just grab something quick, but we really need to pay attention to what our children are eating to help their lead levels stay beneath crisis zone.
Absolutely, and Chia, I know that I know that this directs you specifically as well. Can you give us a couple things that you're doing at home to help kind of give some examples to help other people specifically what they can be doing at home as well?
Oh, for sure. Initially, it was very hard to remember to brush your teeth with bottled water.
Yeah.
And I get up at like 6:30 in the morning, and I'm getting a toddler up at 6:30 in the morning. So what I did, I actually put bottles of water in like a cute catch-it-all case on the bathroom counter, and it's just decorated with bottles of water. So even if I do turn on the faucet and still be in half sleep, I'll immediately see the bottle of water and remember. So that was one adjustment that I made. Cooking and not drinking the water, that's not so much of an inconvenience because I've adjusted to that. However, I do keep water in the kitchen so that if you're cooking something and you need to add water, where you would typically just grab a cup and add it to the food, just keep it in the kitchen. And talk to your kids. Don't just take them from the faucet. Explain to them what's going on their level. At 3 years old, you know, my daughter doesn't understand lead, but she understands that the water will make her sick, and if she drinks the water, we'll have to go back and get another shot for them to take her blood. For someone that's 7 or 8, you may be able to go in chemist terms and kind of explain to them what lead is. So let your children know what's going on because this affects them and they deserve to know why their lives have been interrupted like this.
You bring up some very good points, Tia, and those are some great tips that more than just women, as parents, that we can use to. We have to make sure we talk to our kids and they're knowledgeable so they just don't randomly turn on the faucets.
Mm-hmm.
So as we're moving towards our Super Tuesday in the Michigan area, what does supporting women really look like to you, especially because we have a presidential candidate that is a woman, Hillary Clinton. So what does women supporting women really mean?
I definitely think it's important. I'm going to just go off topic, but I'm going to bring it back.
That's fine.
8 years ago when we elected Senator Obama to become our president, many people thought, well, you're only just voting for him because he's black and it'll be the first black president. And had Ben Carson been the choice then, I would not have cast a vote, you know, in support of the first black president. So I want people, in as much that I like Hillary and I'm undecided, but I'm leaning towards Hillary, in as much as I support her, I want those who are totally undecided to consider her running points and make sure it aligns with your values. Don't just vote because she's a woman or because of the women's suffrage movement or because you want to see the first female president. Actually educate yourself, and you can still support her by doing that. Right. Because Hillary is a very intelligent woman, and I think she would be remiss in her duties as a candidate, as a woman, as a mother, not to encourage others to educate themselves before they just cast a vote for her or because we loved the Clintons back in the 90s. And I think that's important. And even with that, I think being women who are educated and are informed on the issues, we have a duty to inform other mothers of their voting rights, remind them of the suffrage movement, remind them of, you know, the civil rights, encourage them to take their children to the polls regardless of who they're voting for. We need to encourage everybody to exercise that right because it's a right that so many lost their lives for us to have today.
Absolutely.
Right.
And thank you so much for that point. I absolutely agree with that. I like to say as much as I believe in affirmative action in some situations, I do not believe in it for my president. So you have to educate yourself. You have to know the facts. You have to know what everyone stands for, and make sure you're voting very smart and and educate yourself and make sure you're voting. But absolutely, Hillary is hands down is a champion. She's a trumpeter for women's issues.
Yes, she definitely is.
Yes. With that being said, do you think, our candidates speaking to women's issues?
I think that with the Flint water crisis, the candidates that we have, Bernie versus Hillary, I think their work in the past have spoke to women's issues, but I think as we in the Flint area hear the things that they're discussing, it's more so the water crisis. And while it may not be calculated to win votes, that's what it is. If you see a candidate out of 5 or 6 who are discussing something that is affecting our daily lives, they're going to harp on something like that. So on the campaign trail, I have not seen much of that. I do know of Hillary with the Planned Parenthood, and that's vital because whether you're pro-choice or pro-life, women have a right to decide what their body. So when you see a candidate that stands with Planned Parenthood who offers more than abortion services, it's your birth control, your STI infections, things of that nature, they're a very vital component. So to see her support them, that does speak volumes to me. The issues, if you look, although he's not labeling them as women's issues, but insurance care and wages and all of that of Bernie Sanders, that affects women because of the glass ceiling that they typically hit and the wage deviation between them and their male counterparts. So I definitely think that although they are not coming out and saying, hey, these are women's issues, they definitely encompass a care for them, both candidates, both Sanders and Clinton.
One of the things I am watching out for in the political debate is when they talk about higher minimum wage. Because why it's important and why it's a women issue? Because 2/3 of minimum wage workers are women.
Are women.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, so that's one of the things that I'm looking out to see what happens with that.
We in saying that. What are some, Chia? What are some of the other issues that you think the presidential candidates should speak to directly to women, especially here, especially tomorrow, and that we can take with us on going to the polls on Tuesday?
I think that they definitely, in a typical debate that would be held in the city, they wouldn't pick up the issues of the city, whether it's trash removal or things. But this is a national crisis.
Yes.
And we're seeing that lead is in Jackson, Mississippi now. I think I've seen in Cleveland yesterday. So it definitely needs to be addressed of what their role has been to help us combat it. Not just we held the debate in Flint to bring attention, but what monies have you brought yourself here to help with this? I would be interested to hear that. What policies do you have, even if you are not elected in November? What dedication have you committed to the city of Flint for this water crisis?
Right.
I love that.
And I also think that minimum wage is a big deal. I'm a social work case manager now for individuals with intellectual disabilities, but when I worked with families who had child protective service cases, many of the mothers did work minimum wage jobs, and even at 40 hours a week, it was not enough to take care of their families. So we definitely need to hear, if you're going to raise minimum wage, are you going to raise the cost of living?
Yeah, so Chia, it's been a pleasure. I love the tips that you've given, and we hope to have you on the show again soon.
Loan is a 30-year fixed-rate loan with a 1-0 lender paid buy down. Reduced payment valid only during the first 12 months. Monthly payment during the first 12 months of your loan is based on a rate that is 1% lower than your interest rate for this loan program. Not all applicants will qualify. Rates and terms subject to change. NMLS 6606 Equal Housing Lender. Call 888-369-6455 for licensing information.
I'm Rick Arviello, CEO of New American Funding, and we have just introduced a no points, no lender fee 30-year fixed-rate mortgage at 3 5/8%, 3.57 APR, with the first full year's payment at only 2 5/8%. At New American Funding, we figured out a way to give you more of your savings right up front. Your payment at 2 5/8% fixed rate in year 1 and 3.57% APR for the remaining 29 years with 0 points and 0 lender fees. This is for purchase or refinance. Even if you just got your loan, we might be able to really save you money. Isn't it worth a 10-minute call to find out?
Call New American Funding today at 800-963-4933. That's 800-963-4933. Or simply dial pound 250 from any mobile phone. Keyword get that rate.
You say you support our troops, but how?
Did you keep the lights on for my family while I was away?
Did you help me pay for school?
Make my mortgage payment when I couldn't.
Demand Congress put aside their differences and look out for me.
Have you and 1.4 million of your friends welcomed me home?
Did you take care of me and my mom when Daddy went away?
We have. It's what the VFW does every single day. We take care of the wounded, the weary, and the ones at home with scholarships, health care, benefits, and emergency needs.
Don't talk about it, be about it.
Join the veterans of foreign wars in showing real support to America's heroes by donating today. Call 1-855-HELP-VFW right now to donate or go online at vfw.org. By donating to the VFW, you're helping to care for thousands of veterans and their families who have sacrificed so much. The VFW, no one does more for veterans.
Please donate to the veterans of foreign wars. It would make my daddy so proud.
You're listening to Genesee County's Super Talk 1570.
And thank you for joining Reconnect My Life with Shantae and Friends on Super Talk 1570. We just had the pleasure of talking to Chia Morgan. We lost her on the line, but we hope to get her back soon. She is an advocate for Flint, and she was talking about the Flint water crisis. In our last segment, we talked about the empowering women politically, and she gave us some great tips on parenting and what we need to do for those of us who live in Flint to educate our children on the water crisis and what they should do and should not do. So, Chia, I'm sorry we had to go to break, but, we have to pay the bills, but we're happy to have you back so we can wrap up your segment.
Oh, it's no problem.
No problem.
Chia, thank you so much for calling in and being our women in politics expert tonight. Everything that you said was absolutely imperative for our audience to know. And I hope that everyone who's listening right now, I urge you to get out and vote. Michigan primary is March 8th, and it's your voice. Let it be heard. Check out your local paper for where to go in your polls. Visit vote.usa.gov. In the clerk's office, call your local clerk's office. Get out and vote. Like Chia said, there has been way too much history, way too many people that have lost their lives, that have fought so hard for this right in so many ways. So please get out and vote in the Michigan primary. It's so important, and we urge you to do that. Again, Chia, thank you so much for calling in.
Oh, no problem. Thanks for having me. And, like I said, I echo your sentiments. Please get out and vote. Please. It is life or death, literally.
Yes.
And Chia, before we wrap up your segment, if you can go ahead and give a shout out to what you're doing in the community over the next week so people are informed on what's taking place in the city of Flint.
I personally don't have anything coming up in the next week, but if you would like to sign up to be registered to shop with us at Walmart, 810-789-3407, and I'll be doing a water distribution with Marcel Allen tomorrow. And I just want to shout out everybody in the city of Flint who stepped up and tried to help us overcome what we're going through.
Fantastic.
And thank you for joining us.
Have a blessed day, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
So our next segment of the show is more about empowering the woman sexually. What does that look like? So we're talking about orgasms in this segment. What does the elusive orgasm look like? Well, most women don't even realize they have it. What does that look like? Well,
I mean, if you don't, a lot of women don't know they have it. That's got to be something that plagues a lot of people. And the demographic for that, the age group demographic for that, isn't one or the other. It's not. I mean, right. it's from 18 to 85, 95. I mean, it is across the board. So it's definitely something that we want to make sure people are aware of. Yeah. Ladies.
So, with ladies, you're having an orgasm. Said, we know this is going to be an interesting conversation, so we do need to hear your thoughts. So, again, there's a couple of ways that you can communicate with our show. Twitter, it's at Reconnect Life, hashtag RML Flint, and we do have a Twitter poll going on there right now. It is, have you ever experienced an orgasm?
And as your producer, please tread lightly.
Exactly. Only medical terms.
Yes, only medical terms. This is correct. We only have a 5-second delay. We would like to not abuse that for our first show, so please be careful.
Keep it classy, people.
Keep it classy. Keep it classy. You can call in at 810-251-1570. And then you can also go to our Facebook page, Reconnect My Life, hashtag RML Flint as well.
Well, there was an interesting statistic that I seen through the Tennessean on February 24th, and it stated that only 30% of women have orgasm when it's through penetration or vaginal.
Wow.
Orgasm, only 30%. So what's taking place with the other 70?
Well, time.
Space.
Time, space. Headboards.
Not really sure sometimes.
I think for women, a lot of times, if we, for us, it does come down. It's so emotional. So for us, when we're not having an orgasm, it's because we're thinking about everything else we have to do. So we need to really, really, really empower ourselves to that moment in the bedroom or in the back seat or on the couch, wherever it is. We need to.
So you actually have to be in the present. Get rid of that to-do list.
Right.
But I also think the other part is that you don't have to have an orgasm to enjoy sex.
Right.
Like, you don't have to. Like, it's a pleasurable experience without necessarily having that finale, like, earth-shattering moment.
Exactly.
Absolutely. So, and men need to understand that, because I don't feel like they understand it, and so it becomes a mental thing with them as well.
Right.
It's the classic question.
Right. Yeah.
Did you have an orgasm?
Right.
Well, I don't know how to answer that. If I say no, are you going to be mentally deflated? Or if I say yes, is that going to boost your ego and you're going to feel good about yourself?
Well, there are a lot of myths surrounding orgasms. Okay, so we're going to talk about some of those myths today. And some of those myths can cause conflict in a relationship.
Absolutely.
So when Harry met Sally, you remember that movie? When she was sitting at the cafe and she was all loud and she was faking it. It was nothing going on there, but it sounded realistic, didn't it? So the myth is that an orgasm is always earth moving. It's an earth moving experience, and that something is wrong with a woman if she's not able to experience it. If it's not like the lightning and thundering and all this stuff going on, that she's not, if she doesn't experience it, she feels like she's the loser because she hasn't had the orgasm.
No, I mean, it doesn't have to be life-changing. You don't have to have a, come to the universe moment to have, to know that you've had an orgasm or to experience that. You just have to have more than, a few minutes.
Well, because I read if you wanted to have an orgasm through, vaginal sex, it's going to take you, I think it was said 45 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's not something that happens quick all the time.
So then, other than that, you have to warm up the motor, pretty much.
Right.
Some foreplay needs to be involved.
There has to be some foreplay, and you have to be into them, right?
Yeah. You have to be into the situation. No, I think you have to be into this, just like you said. You got to leave the list at the door. You got to shut the bedroom. You just got to, like, let it all go. You don't have to worry about, did the kids do the homework? Are you supposed to be here tomorrow? Like, what's going on tomorrow? You just have to
enjoy. Right, you have to be there. You have to enjoy that. You have to be in the physical presence of it to really, really make sure that it's what you want it to be. I think we worry so much about what men want it to be so many times. And that's and we feel selfish, and I'm so tired of us feeling selfish for wanting to feel good. So it's just so important to feel good. Ladies, feel good. Do it to yourself. Give it to yourself.
Which brings us to our other myth. Normal women reach orgasms through regular intercourse. And that's a myth, because there's other ways that you could reach orgasms besides just intercourse. And only about a third of women experience orgasms during regular intercourse. Isn't that something?
Wow. Yes. Wow.
Right. So a third can reach orgasm for intercourse, but they need extra stimulation.
Yeah, they need to be touched. You need to be touched. I know personally. For me, it has to be more than just focused in one area. It has to be focused in a lot of areas on me. And if a gentleman is just in one place, that's not going to work. And so that makes a lot of sense.
Right. And our other myth is that the inability to reach an orgasm means that a woman is frigid.
Yeah.
There could be something that's really going on with you.
Yeah, there's something mental going on there.
Yeah, there could be a lot of things going on. So there is a list as far as what could be going on with you if you're not able to reach an orgasm. And that list could include medical condition. Sometimes the medications we take affect our bodies. And we have to make sure we read the descriptions on there to see what those side effects are, because medications can play a key role in there. Also, if you had a history of gynecological surgeries, that could definitely impact you.
Absolutely. Then so many women, that happens to so many women. They experience that, and it's more and more and more common.
Right. And also, people may not think about this, but your cultural or religious beliefs may play a role in it, where you may think, because of how you grew up, that you're not supposed to enjoy it. It's only for the male to enjoy. That sex is only for procreation.
Having babies.
But that's not necessarily true, because I have sex for more than just having babies.
Helps with stress.
Helps with stress. It helps. Absolutely.
And there could be embarrassment or shyness. And you can have guilt about enjoying sexual activity.
I think the shyness is the big one.
You think shyness is the big one?
Yeah, body shaming. Like, just that not feeling.
Turn off the lights.
Yeah, turn off the lights. It's some Rihanna. Sade.
And what people don't realize, too, is that if you had a history of sexual abuse, that could definitely impact your arousal.
Absolutely.
And a majority of those sexual abuse victims are not going to tell you. They're not going to share that with their partner.
Right, exactly. And speaking about sexual abuse, there was just something in the media about Lady Gaga at the award show.
Yeah, at the Oscars. Yeah. She was so good. I caught it on YouTube the next day. Like, I didn't watch it live, and so I read a lot about it, and she did that, and it was amazing, and she shared a lot about her story, and her family didn't even know her story until they saw her perform it on the Oscars.
Wow.
Really?
Her grandmother and her aunt did not know about it.
That is incredible.
No, not at all. Because she was, like most victims, I'm sure.
Shamed.
I can't speak to it. But she was ashamed, and she felt like she was not worthy because of it.
That word,
Yeah.
not worthy. It was such a powerful performance, and she brought the subject to the forefront.
She totally did.
In the last,
Yes.
especially
Yes.
in the last week since the Oscars, and it is such an important topic to talk about. And I think it's one of those things that if you're in a moment with someone, man or woman, and if you're in a moment with them, then that is something, and you feel ashamed of that. You're closed off to that. We're conditioned to close ourselves off to that, and it's nothing. We need to stop being ashamed, stop feeling ashamed, and have those conversations. We need to be able to have those conversations with each other.
I think it's very important to have those conversations, and also if you're not able to get over it and it's really an issue, then you need to seek professional help in order to deal with the baggage that that is giving you. So we need to empower ourselves as women to take the bull by the horns.
Absolutely. Remember, ladies, it's never about the baggage. It's not about the luggage. It's about the way you carry it.
There you go.
That's it. That's
yes,
it.
I like that.
With that being said, we're going to take a break, and thank you for listening to Super Talk 1570, Reconnect My Life with Shantae and Friends. We'll be back on more subjects around the female orgasms and empowerment.
The more you listen, the more you know. Super Talk 1570.
Feel like you're in a rut? Are you constantly putting things off? Do you find yourself wondering, what if? Shantae Bogard of Reconnect My Life is excited to help you live life to your full potential. To do so, we cannot take our lives for granted. We must live without shame, guilt, anger, or regret. Reconnect My Life understands that life is about reaching back to help those that are worthy of it and reaching forward to walk in our destiny. Do you intend to be happy or sad? Do you intend to live life or let it pass you by? In any case, the decision is yours. Today, you get a do-over. The next right move is yours. Shantae knows that you have the power to bring about change and make your life the best life possible. Visit reconnectmylife.com. That's re-connectmylife.com to learn more. Start your new path in life and be the change today. Shantae Bogard is a clinical therapist specializing in individual, couple, and family therapy. To contact her, visit re-connectmylife.com and find her on Facebook. Reconnect My Life. Love your life or live trying.
Well, my husband is a retired sergeant from the Air Force.
Well, he was in the Army for 14 years and an MP.
23 million veterans. They're heroes who need our help.
Well, I'm here because my daughter has had her third surgery for cancer.
We've had some difficulties, so we're here quite some time. We're going on to 3 weeks.
When our heroes' families need help, they turn to Fisher House.
We learned about the Fisher House through the doctor, and we were so grateful because who has 3 weeks to be able to come and stay at a hotel?
Fisher House is a safe, free place to stay for families of wounded warriors and veterans receiving treatment at VA and military medical centers.
Fisher House is not only a home away from home, it was like family away from family.
Thank you, Fisher House.
Thank you, Fisher House. Helping military and veterans families. Fisher House at fisherhouse.org. Sometimes having family close by is a hero's best medicine.
Flint's place for the latest news and the best talk. Super Talk 1570.
Thank you for joining Super Talk 1570 with Reconnect My Life with Shantae and Friends as we continue the conversation around Women Empowerment Series. At the top of the hour, we talked about empowering the woman politically, and now we're talking about how do we empower women sexually. Specifically, we're talking about the female orgasms.
One of the hardest ways to experience an orgasm is the vaginal orgasm, and we want to talk about some other issues, some other sexual issues women deal with when it comes to orgasm, but also, beyond that, things that have to do with that. We had touched a little bit earlier on when we're in that moment that focusing in just one area is unless it's a private moment, honestly, with yourself, then that's. But when you're with a partner, right, then it's very important to not just focus on one area. So, we want to talk about that. We want to talk about different types of orgasms, and one of the problem that isn't a problem are multiple orgasms. But how do we get from here to there?
I think as women, we need to first we need to make sure we know ourselves in order so we can show our partner what pleasures us. So there's nothing wrong with a little play.
Absolutely.
Because if you know your body, you're more inclined to share with him or her
right
what you want
Absolutely.
in that sexual relationship and how to make that work.
So I think that adds to how do you get more, because you know what makes more
Absolutely.
for you, right?
Giving direction, giving direction. I think that's kind of just like the bottom line. It's okay for us to give direction to our partner who, and tell them, hey, this works, this feels really good. And you can tell them in a way that, doesn't sound sterile.
Yeah, well, because
it doesn't sound clinical.
I don't want sometimes women don't want to tell a man what she wants or what she needs because she feels like she's going to deflate his ego.
Absolutely.
So they won't necessarily say, because that's the other whole, so the one that we have on here is called blended orgasms.
Right. Yeah.
So that's where there's a little, it's the vaginal, but then there's a little play going on too. And we won't necessarily do that because we do feel like it's going to make them feel like we don't need them. Well, we do, obviously.
Right.
I mean, not really, but yeah.
Right.
I mean, we don't need you all the time, but sometimes we do.
We want you sometimes.
Yeah. So I just feel like, the men have to feel comfortable with us. It's only going to get better if you listen and we tell, right?
Right. When you listen, it's important to listen to one another.
Yes.
Communication is key to achieving the perfect orgasm.
And we need to hear what you need, what you want, what makes you
It goes both ways.
Yeah, it goes both ways.
Absolutely.
It goes both ways.
Absolutely. And I think too, a lot of times when we're with a partner, especially when it's just starting out, that's one of the issues that I think a lot of women face. When you're just starting out, you put your best foot forward. You have everything is in its place. There's not a hair out of place, and you make sure all the hair is in
right. I know, like in place, like literally in place.
And then over time, that is not as tight. Ship starts to go into wheels start to come off there a little bit, but it happens, and comfort is huge,
right?
And comfort is a really big deal, and comfort is a big deal in achieving an orgasm. And there's two ways to look at that. Yes, I'm comfortable with my partner enough to be in this situation with him and do this with him.
Right.
But also you have to be comfortable enough to let them always know what you want to do. And take that time for yourself to feel really good about yourself.
Right. And I just want to add too, comfort is important, but you don't want to feel too comfortable where you're going to bed and you're looking just like a hot mess.
No.
Before you go to bed, when you took special care in the beginning.
Right. Let me just say.
He thinks he's getting what she thinks she's getting. He thinks No. And that's bad, but I mean,
our bodies, they do change over time.
Absolutely.
However, you just still want to make sure that you take care to make sure you look special.
Absolutely.
From time to time for your special.
Yeah, because it makes you feel better.
Right.
But it also makes him feel appreciated. If you're going to take the time to go get something sexy to wear to bed, he's going to love it. I mean, or he's going to say, I don't need that. But there's communication, so that's really all you need, right? That's part of it.
Exactly.
So it's there. But, you'll appreciate it. It'll make you feel better. It'll make him or her feel better, and it's good for all the parties.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So what can you do to have more orgasms? I got some tips for you. You want to know?
I'm ready.
I do. I want to hear them right now.
We got a single woman over here.
So the first thing you need to do is relax.
Okay.
Breathe.
Okay. Breathe. We heard that before. I think we heard it last night, didn't we? Presidential debate.
That's
Breathe.
right. Breathe.
Make sure you breathe. Communicate. Communication is key.
Can I say something about communication?
Sure.
So as single when I was 25, communication is a lot different now than I'm 41.
Absolutely.
So let me just talk a little bit about sexting for a second. Just for a second. It can be very powerful.
Amazing.
Very enlightening.
Yeah.
And it's a very good way to communicate. I'm just going to say that. Okay, you can go on.
There we go.
Yeah.
Just have to make sure you don't text the wrong person.
No, and make sure your kids don't have your phone.
Right.
And it's not a group text.
Yeah.
It's not a group text. It's not your pastor.
No.
Your phone as mom, not as mom's first name.
Yeah, right? No, wrong one. Mom, can I play on your phone? No, you cannot. No, not a good time.
I think someone in the room experienced that at one time or another.
I think so.
Kids picking up your phone.
Mom. I don't know what you're talking about.
So also you want to make sure that you enjoy it. If your partner is doing something right, encourage them.
Yes.
Let them know that they're doing something right.
They're doing something right. Yes.
Encouragement is key, people.
Yes.
So we want to make sure that they know that they're doing something right, and we're encouraging that. And it's okay to fantasize.
Yes.
It totally is.
Absolutely.
It's totally okay to fantasize. And it's okay to fantasize together. You know, like it doesn't have to be just, this is what I want. Hey, why don't we watch this? And so there's another one for you all to look at too that a lot of millennials are doing. Tumblr. There's a little, I'm just going to say Tumblr.
Okay.
Millennials have it going on.
It's a whole new way to experience intimacy without being together.
Okay.
So you can follow certain blogs and certain posts. Some are a little riskier than others.
Okay.
But it's an interesting
read.
Tumblr. Yes.
Interesting read.
Yes.
Okay. So role playing, you want to make sure you can read books, right?
Yes.
And you can also, every now and then, you can throw in some toys.
You sure can.
Toys, movies. You know, movies. That can be fun.
AdamandEve.com. Have a great goodie bag. It's all in there.
Whatever floats your boat.
Yep.
But you just want to make sure that you're having fun and you're communicating with your partner. And if you're not enjoying something, say it. Because they'll continue to do it thinking that you're enjoying it. So don't fake it.
No.
Don't fake it till you make it.
That's right.
This is
fake it till you make it. Because you ain't going to make it. You ain't going to make it if you're going to be faking it. That's for sure.
Ever.
No. Ever.
Not with this.
Nope.
No, not with this.
It's going to be walking bunny.
So to our listeners, this is the gist of what our show is about.
It's just the start.
Friends having conversation. But we're having conversations on live radio right now.
That's right.
And we're inviting you into our studio to have a great conversation with us. And if you have questions, feel free to call into our show. Again, be interactive. Again, this show was sponsored by Reconnect My Life Consulting and Counseling here on Super Talk 1570. And what we'll do now is Christy will tell you how you were able to contact us on the show.
Yes. So again, we have a couple of ways that you can contact us. We have our Twitter at Reconnect Life. Facebook is Reconnect My Life. And then, of course, you can always call in on the show when we have a live show at 810-251-1570.
And I know there's plenty of things for us to do this weekend. What's going on here?
Absolutely. Tonight there's the Hurley Foundation Emerald Ball. Of course, tomorrow there are several debate watch parties downtown Flint at the Cork, Blackstones, and the Loft. You can check their Facebook pages out for that. And then, of course, the big debate at 8 o'clock at the Whiting. Huck Finn, if you want to take your children, the Flint Youth Theater has Huck Finn tomorrow. Next Friday, Second Friday Art Walk. I expect to see everybody down there. On the 12th, the St. Patty's Beer Fest at the Flint Farmers Market. So please come down, join us for that. And then, of course, coming up, the Crim Pot of Gold run on St. Patrick's Day. So there's a lot of exciting things coming up the next week.
Yeah, and just so everybody knows, for the sports junkie that's here, it's also the beginning of districts for basketball.
All right. So Our next week's show, join us next Saturday here at 6 o'clock, same place, Super Talk 1570. And we're talking about mentally and physically empowering a woman and what does that look like. In the meantime, make sure you empower yourself. Get the knowledge you need. Ask questions. Love your life or live trying. With that being said, thank you for joining us on our first show, Reconnect My Life with Shantae and Friends, right here on Super Talk 1570.
The preceding program was sponsored by Reconnect My Life Counseling and Consulting.